guys!
Hello.
So today we're going to talk about...
Transportation in Disney World.
Why? What's with the pause?
I was going to say Magic Kingdom.
You know. Alright guys, before we keep going, I want to say subscribe. Also, thank you for watching and subscribing if you are a subscriber. We're trying to post weekly. So, thank you for cheering us on.
Make sure you guys also click the notification bell to make sure you guys are all up to date on all of our videos that we upload.
And like this video if you like Disney.
Also, feel free to share this video with other people. I mean, if you think that our videos help your friends, your family, recommend our channel. I mean, tell them to watch us. I mean, every time you guys tell us what to film, we'll film it for you guys. So if you guys have any more questions, leave a comment below. We'll make other videos for you guys.
There's a lot of transportation options throughout Disney World to get you from resorts to parks, parks to parks, to Disney Springs. And personally, we utilize all of them. We'll talk about all of them through our trip. So you land at the airport and you get on
the Magical Express.
Yep, and this magical transportation takes you from your airport to your Disney hotel. And if you want to, you can even use their luggage service, so you don't even have to lift a finger.
So this bus system is actually really, really good. If you're staying on property, not off property, you have to stay on property. They'll literally drop you off literally at the front door of every single hotel that's on property. I know I keep saying on property, but...
And it's actually not ran by Disney, it's ran by Mears Transportation. A lot of the buses are Disney themed. Very rarely will you get a non-Disney themed bus. We always get like a Disney Cruise Line bus, or we'll get just like a regular Disney bus, and they've actually just rebranded them so they look really cool now.
What do they look like?
Insert a picture here.
So something also kind of cool about these buses is not only does it drop you off from take you from the airport and drop you off right to your hotel, but they actually have TVs on these buses to keep the kids as well as the adults entertained. So they give you like safety advice and you know, they show cartoons. It's what, a half an hour drive?
It's about a 45-minute drive.
That was close.
The video itself is about a half an hour. It ends right about when you get under the arch.
Yeah.
And your bus driver will always pause the video to let you know you're approaching the arch and to tell everyone to get their cameras out, which is really nice. So after you get off the bus, you're at your hotel, you're all relaxed. There's some more transportation. There's the monorail, there's the internal bus system. There's also the boats. So some of the resorts have boats, as well as the minivan. So let's start with the monorail. There's two parks that are on the monorail system. It's Magic Kingdom and Epcot. And there's 3 resorts: the Contemporary, the Polynesian, and the Grand Floridian, and then also a stop at the Ticket and Transportation Center, the TTC. The monorail is by far my favorite mode of transportation.
If you haven't seen enough of our other videos that you haven't realized that that's her favorite, then you need to watch our channel more often.
Por favor, mantengas al ojero de las puertas. I just love it. If you're a big Disney fan, you know this, there's a certain smell to the monorail. I can't describe it. Every time I get on the monorail, it's like, oh, I'm home. It smells like the monorail. It's wonderful. So you can take the monorail from the Ticket Transportation to Epcot, the Ticket Transportation to Magic Kingdom, or you can do the resort loop, which links in this order: Magic Kingdom, Contemporary, Ticket Transportation, Polynesian, Grand Floridian, back to the Magic Kingdom. That was a lot. I like taking the monorail to Epcot, especially if I'm in one of those resorts, but the walk from the monorail at Epcot to the park entrance or park security is so long, especially at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's got this super steep ramp. The Magic Kingdom's ramp, I'm assuming, is like the same steepness, but it doesn't feel as bad. And it's not as long of a walk. So I definitely like taking the monorail. Leaving Magic Kingdom, it just can get a little busy at the end of the night, like right after fireworks.
The mass exodus.
Yeah, you're gonna be waiting. Next, every resort has Disney buses. So it's similar to the Magical Express. These buses have seats more laid out like public transportation.
Like a city bus.
Yeah. There's standing room, especially at the end of the night when people are trying to leave the park or getting to the park in the morning and it's really busy. But these buses go from every resort to every park, and even to Disney Springs and the water park. These buses do not, however, go from resort to resort. So that's kind of the only downside. If you do need to go to resort, if it's on the monorail loop, you can do that. But the buses, you'd have to go to a park or Disney Springs and transfer. The buses aren't my favorite mode of transportation, but they are the easiest.
I will say this though, she is right. It is like easiest out of all the other forms of transportation. But I'm kind of still scared. We actually had an event where we stayed at Art of Animation, and we were trying to leave one of the parks.
Disney Springs.
Was it Disney Springs?
It was right when it was Disney Springs. It was right when they were doing all the renovations.
That's right.
So there was all this crazy road work.
And we waited and waited, and I think we waited 45 minutes, an hour, just for the bus to get there.
Yes.
Like to come and pick us up. Mm-hmm. Stupid us. I mean, Pop Century is right next door. We could have easily, jumped on one of their buses. We didn't think about it at the time. Now in hindsight, we should have. But it took us about an hour and a half to just get back to the resort.
And I will say this, since that's happened, there is still road work. Disney is doing a lot of renovations. They're always upgrading. But they really have made that commitment to you'll get a bus every 20 minutes. I think the longest we've made it since is about a half an hour. But you'll see multiple buses, and you can there is someone waiting at the bus stops that is monitoring the times, and if they haven't seen a bus in a while, they'll call for a bus. So that's at the parks, and even at the resorts, there's generally someone there who works with Disney Transportation. There's also a board now, not a board, a TV that tells you when the next bus is coming. So it either gives you time or like a specific time, like 5:36, or it'll say, oh, in about 20 minutes.
Also, another thing, as we were, as I was just explaining before, also, if you guys are in a rush to get back to your resort, think about what other resorts are around you. So, for example, the monorail system. Mm-hmm. You have the Contemporary, the Polynesian, and the Grand Floridian. If you really need to get back and you're staying at the Grand Floridian, jump on the Contemporary or Polynesian bus, and then jump on the monorail from there, and then take it to your resort. Kind of be familiar when you're trying to pick your resort, what else is around you. Like, again, using Art of Animation, we could have jumped on Pop Century.
Transportation hop, that's what I call it. Like, if you have to get somewhere, jump on one transportation and then get on another. Another form, we don't use it as often because we generally don't stay at, I guess we do use it pretty often. I was going to say the boats. There's boats, and I'm not going to name them all, I apologize. There are boats from Epcot, Hollywood Studios, and those go to Boardwalk, Beach and Yacht Club. And then there's boats Disney Springs to Saratoga Springs, and I believe Old Key West and Port Orleans, Riverside, and French Quarter. There's also boats from the Magic Kingdom to all the surrounding resorts, including Wilderness Lodge and Fort Wilderness. So the monorail resorts actually have all three transportations: buses, boats, and monorails. The boats and the boats also go to Ticket Transportation Center.
That is true, yes.
There is no boat for Animal Kingdom. The closest resort to that is Animal Kingdom Lodge. Actually, the only transportation that goes to Animal Kingdom Park is the buses. I like the boats. They're quick. No one really uses them. And if you have motion sickness, Josh really gets motion sickness. He doesn't get it on the boats.
No, I mean, my father and I both have really bad motion sickness. Even without taking pills, even with a full belly. The waves are like that big on the lakes and stuff like that. I don't really think I've ever had motion sickness.
Yeah.
I mean, the only times that you would get motion sickness is during a storm, and they shut down the boats during that time frame anyway. I mean, the smallest little bit of rain and they pretty much shut everything down.
The other resort I forgot is Swan and Dolphin. Swan and Dolphin also links Hollywood Studios, Epcot, Beach and Yacht Club, and Boardwalk.
But they're not a Disney resort, so we don't care as much.
But the other thing that's great about the boats is because the one boat for Epcot also goes to Beach and Yacht Club and Boardwalk. You can resort hop with the boats. That's really great, especially if you're just trying to get to Beach and Yacht Club to Boardwalk, or we've done it to Wilderness Lodge to Contemporary. That's really nice. The only thing to remember when you're staying at a resort with a boat is they do have horns. The horns go off every time they're approaching a dock until they stop running, and that's about an hour after park closes. I knew this, but we first really were affected by it when we stayed for our honeymoon. So our first trip, we stayed at the Contemporary, wasn't an issue. Didn't even hear it, didn't know it existed, great. The Polynesian, we were still pretty far from the boat dock, but you could hear it, and we weren't even facing the lake. You could hear it.
But I will say this, I mean, after like, and I'm a very, very light sleeper, I think after like day 2, like morning 2, night 2, whatever you want to call it, you get used to it, and honestly, I still slept right through and didn't have any issues.
I just can't imagine staying in those bungalows or the cabins at Wilderness Lodge.
Still bucket listing, maybe for one night.
Yes,
maybe
but
night.
I'm sure it's very loud.
Yeah.
The last transportation, so those are all Disney run transportation. The last one is minivans. So minivans are unique because they're run by Lyft, so you actually order them off the Lyft app. But the drivers are employed by Disney.
And also don't forget, since Amy brought it up, make sure you guys watch the video. We'll put an eye in there. There or there, depending on where we put the eye, and watch the video on how to actually, get one of those cars, those minivans.
I'm not sure what the price is right now. I'll have to look it up. But they did recently lower it. The great thing about minivans is they come with car seats. So if you have children, the way to go is the minivan. You can order regular Lyft and Uber. The downside to those, although they are cheaper, they don't come with car seats and they don't get you as close as the minivans. The minivans will actually get you, generally they have a stop like around the bus stops.
And usually right up in front of all the bus stops.
Uber and Lyft do not. They'll drop you off at the regular parking lot. The other thing with minivans, and the reason we used it, is if you've had a really long day. I think we were trying to get from the Wilderness Lodge to the Polynesian.
It was also raining that day, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
We would either have had to take a bus to the Magic Kingdom and switch, or a boat to the Contemporary, get on the monorail, or a boat to the Magic Kingdom and then switch to the Polynesian. There's ways we could have done it, but it would have taken a lot longer, and it would have just not been fun. Yeah. It was easier to just order a minivan. We had a very long day. The one thing Disney tells you is when you're trying to get from place to place on Disney property, give yourself an hour and a half, and that's very true. There are times where it has taken longer, but especially if you have to do that transportation hop, it does take that long. Granted, a monorail ride from the Contemporary to the Grand Floridian does not take that long, but still overestimate your time. The actual ride takes 15 minutes. Give yourself that half an hour, because you never know what could happen. You never know. We've gotten to the monorail stop, seen a train go by, and then they're like, oh, the monorail's down, and we're like,
yeah, multiple times with that.
So definitely leave yourself open, give yourself wiggle room.
And again, always think around, like we were talking about before, about where your hotels are. Always think of a plan B. If the monorails break down, jump on a bus. If the bus will take it down, to like jump in a minivan.
Yeah. And just keep in mind, ask a cast member. They'll always be willing to help you. And just remember, if you're running to a reservation, like a dining reservation, don't worry, you have wiggle room. So you can be late. It is frustrating for the cast members and it is annoying for everyone else. But if you happen to run late, you happen to run late. I am a early bird. I'm always early. I'm always on time. It annoys the heck out of him.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, in Disney, I'm really good at like, let's just get there on time. Like I slow down. I'm not worried about being late because I know they're so accommodating. So after you have spent your entire magical vacation at Disney property and you have to go home,
the sad part happens.
You then take the Tragical Express. It's the Magical Express back to the airport, but we absolutely cannot call it magical.
I don't know anyone who does call it magical. We need to talk. Yeah.
It is the Tragical Express home. And just like on your way there, it will. They'll actually leave you a letter on your door handle with the time that you should go to your bus. The bus will be there. They'll check. You need that letter to get on the bus. They'll check your name off, load your luggage, and you'll go right back to the airport. And they'll drop you off at the proper terminal, so you can get back on that flight home. Right, thank you so much for watching. As we said before, be sure to subscribe, hit the bell for bell notifications, and like this video, and leave a comment.
It's a lot.
And share the video. The more you guys support us, the more videos we can make for you.
If you guys have any other suggestions, like I said at the beginning part of this video, leave a comment below of other videos that you guys think that would be, beneficial for you guys to watch.
All right, guys, thank you so much, and
See you real soon.